Then the Mark Bookman, who passed away last year, so we'd like to show the documentary film. Mr. Mark, they gave us the great influence on the live Tokyo activities and also hands-on Tokyo activities. Mr. Mark came to Japan to study Buddhism. However, he was on wheelchair, and every time he visited a temple, and he faced many stairs and gave up that passion. And after that, they started to study accessibility of the time in Japan. So please watch his documentary film.
Every day, I rely on a caregiver to help get me into my wheelchair. I drive it across my architect-designed apartment, take the medicine laid out by my nurse, go outside, follow a street path, get to a train station where I use a government-issued disability pass, where an attendant pulls out a ramp for me. I get to my destination, and there I rely on the relevant staff. Everywhere I go, no matter what I want to do, my life is entangled with the lives of 100 other people in 100 different specialties. I had a heart transplant at 10.
A child have a heart transplant, which is not an easy thing to go through. And I remember them saying, okay, well, say goodbye to Mark. And when they say goodbye, it's like you have to be prepared for everything. So here you've got parents with their 10-year-old son, not saying, I'll see you in a couple hours, saying goodbye, and then I'd see you again. Excuse me a minute. I remember just dropping the phone, dropping to my knees, and then I thought, I can't believe this. That was probably one of, if not the roughest day of my life.
I spent most of my childhood in and out of the hospital. For me, that became an impetus to watch anime on TV, to explore philosophy, to become invested in the world of both disability and Japan.
One day I went in there and I'm like, your room's a pigsty. He goes, yeah. I'm like, well, pick this crap up. I'm in a wheelchair. I said, I don't give a crap what you're in. I'll buy you a hand grabber. You pick your stuff up off the floor and put it in a hamper. You don't get any special privileges just because you're in a wheelchair.
You're an asshole.
I'm in my dental office and one of my front desk people comes back. Dr. Bookman, there's a phone call for you. They said they need to speak to you. It's about your son, some Japanese minister or something like that. I was like, what?
The University of Tokyo is the most prestigious, the oldest national university. It is absolutely necessary to employ him because he is very brilliant, he is very talented, and he is a very interesting man.
I was the first former disabled scholar ever to study abroad in Japan. As I'm meeting these activists and scholars, I'm learning more about the disability studies world, not by any choice of my own, but through contingency, through happenstance, through stumbling into the world quite literally.
Mark was working on Shingon Buddhism. And in order to do that, you have to read very old Japanese, which I cannot read.
I was so surprised. He speak better Japanese than I do, I guess.
I invited him to a presentation linking disability studies with religious studies.
As I'm struggling to find housing, as I'm struggling to get access to Buddhist temples, all had stairs, I'm starting to ask myself, well, why do I care what monks think if I'm not getting in the front door? I have this treasure trove of resources around disability, the connections that I'm starting to build up and make that could meaningfully provide the answers that I was searching for. In the US, if I was to encounter an accessibility problem, I have to file a lawsuit. Japan is moving along at a much faster pace. I wouldn't have to sue the owner. You know, this is a huge market they're not tapping into. The economic incentive of building access and inclusion is so much more visible in Japan.
Mark is one of my good friends, and I'm always just blown away by his genuine interest in those around him and using the abilities he's been given to help make a better future for so many people, to look at the challenges that we all have and how to change them into something that will create a greater future here in Japan and then ripple out through the rest of the world, I believe.
My hope in the future is that people don't treat me differently.
Everyone one day will become disabled.
Mark, a call to action. Coming soon from WLRN, Rather Large Productions, and the Glide Fund.